In just 9 minutes, uncover the most powerful insights from Stephen Bartlett's conversation with speaking coach Jefferson Fisher on The Diary of a CEO. Fisher reveals the silence trick that exposes liars, how to shut down disrespect in seconds, and the weak word ruining your confidence. Learn how to turn enemies into allies, handle tough conversations, and control any room with these 10 game-changing takeaways. Takeaway 1. The word that makes you sound weak, using just in sentences, makes you sound hesitant and less confident. It's a weak filler word that reduces the strength of your message. For example, instead of saying, "I just wanted to check in," say, "I wanted to check in." This makes you sound clear and confident. Another example is in a work email. Instead of writing, "I just think we should try this strategy," say, "I think we should try this strategy." The small change removes uncertainty and makes your statement stronger. By eliminating just, you own your words instead of apologizing for them. Now let's move to the next takeaway. Takeaway 2. Silence is the best tool against liars. One of the most powerful techniques when dealing with a liar is silence. Most people feel uncomfortable with pauses in a conversation, but liars find them especially hard to handle. When you stay silent, they start to panic and often reveal more than they intended. For example, if someone claims, "I was at home all night," instead of arguing, simply repeat, "You were at home all night," and then say nothing. The liar will likely feel the pressure and start adding unnecessary details to make their story sound more believable, which increases the chance of contradictions. This technique is often used in police interrogations and courtroom cross-examinations. A skilled lawyer will remain silent after a suspect's answer, which makes them feel the need to keep talking, and that's when the truth slips out. Now let's move to the next takeaway. Takeaway 3. How to handle disrespect. When someone is rude or belittling, the natural instinct is to fight back, but that usually makes the situation worse. Instead, Jefferson Fisher teaches a 3-step method to stay in control. Step 1. Pause for 5 to 7 seconds. This silence makes the other person uncomfortable and forces them to hear their own words. Step 2. Ask them to repeat it. Many people will hesitate and even soften what they originally said when asked to repeat it. Step 3. Stay calm and say nothing else. This makes them realize their behavior isn't affecting you, which takes away their power. For example, if a coworker says, "You have no idea what you're doing," instead of snapping back, just pause and then say, "What did you say?" This forces them to either double down on their rudeness, which makes them look bad, or backtrack and rephrase it in a more respectful way. Now let's move to the next takeaway. Takeaway 4. The one word all liars use. Liars often use the word never because it makes their denial sound absolute. But in reality, very few things in life are never true. Honest people typically answer in a direct and simple way, but liars feel the need to exaggerate to sound more convincing. This extreme language can actually be a red flag. For example, if someone is accused of gossiping at work and they respond, "I would never say something like that about her," Zerenia, they are trying too hard to sound innocent. A truthful person might simply say, "I didn't say that." The more extreme the denial, the more suspicious it can sound. Another example is when someone is confronted about cheating in a relationship. If they say, "I would never betray you," illogically, instead of "I didn't cheat," their defensive reaction might indicate guilt. If they are being truthful, they wouldn't feel the need to overcompensate with dramatic language. Now let's move to the next takeaway. Takeaway 5. Winning an argument is a mistake. If your goal in an argument is to win, you have already lost. The problem with trying to win is that it makes the other person defensive, which means they will focus on proving you wrong instead of actually listening to what you are saying. For example, if you and your spouse argue about finances and your goal is to prove that you are right, the conversation will turn into a battle. But if your goal is to understand their point of view, you can actually find a solution together. Jefferson Fisher suggests asking the simple question, "What am I missing?" This forces the other person to explain their perspective and lowers their defensiveness. Instead of making the argument about who is right, it shifts the conversation toward finding common ground. We're halfway through the video. Thank you for sticking with us this far. If you're enjoying it, please give us a thumbs up and share it in your WhatsApp groups. We'd love to hear your thoughts, so feel free to comment below. To see more videos like this, make sure to hit the subscribe button. Now let's continue with the video. Takeaway 6. What Abraham Lincoln taught about handling enemies. Lincoln's secret to dealing with his rivals was simple. Instead of fighting them, he turned them into allies. For example, if someone at work is competing against you, instead of seeing them as an enemy, try collaborating with them. You might find that working together benefits both of you. This approach works because people want to feel important and valued. When you give them that, they stop seeing you as a threat. Now let's move to the next takeaway. Takeaway 7. The secret to assertive communication. Being assertive means finding the right balance between being too passive and too aggressive. The key is to speak directly but without hostility. For example, instead of saying, "I don't mean to be rude," but say, "I want to be direct about this." This sets a confident tone without being confrontational. Another important trick is slowing down your speech. If you say something too fast, it can sound rushed and emotional. But if you slow it down, you come across as calm and in control. For example, instead of saying, "I already told you, I'm not going to do that," swing it slowly and firmly. "I already told you, I am not going to do that." This makes you sound like someone who cannot be pushed around. Now let's move to the next takeaway. Takeaway 8. How to prepare for a tough conversation. Before having a difficult conversation, do this. Step 1. Take a deep breath. This calms your nervous system and prevents a reactive response. Step 2. Decide your goal. Are you trying to prove a point, or are you trying to resolve a problem? Step 3. Practice your first sentence. The hardest part of a tough conversation is starting it, so plan your first sentence in advance. For example, if you need to confront a friend about something uncomfortable, prepare by saying, "I want to talk about something that's been bothering me, and I want to understand your side of it too." This sets the right tone and reduces tension. Now let's move to the next takeaway. Takeaway 9. The biggest mistake in small talk. Most people struggle with small talk because they ask boring questions about the past. A better approach is to ask about the future, because people get more excited when talking about what they are looking forward to. For example, instead of asking, "What did you do this weekend?" logically ask, "What are you excited about this week?" This sparks a more engaging and positive conversation. Now let's move to the last takeaway. Takeaway 10. The words you say shape your child's future. The way you speak to a child influences their confidence and self-worth for life. If a child constantly hears negative words, they will carry that insecurity into adulthood. For example, instead of saying, "You always mess up," say, "I appreciate that you're trying. Let's figure out how to do it better next time." This encourages growth instead of fear. Even small changes in language can have a lifelong impact on a child's mindset. These takeaways provide powerful lessons on communication, conflict resolution, and personal growth. Understanding these techniques can help anyone become a better speaker, listener, and overall communicator. Here is a brief introduction about Jefferson Fisher. Jefferson Fisher is a trial lawyer, communication expert, and host of the Jefferson Fisher Podcast, where he teaches how to communicate with confidence. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed watching this video, please leave a like below and share this video in your WhatsApp groups. You can also discuss about this video by commenting below. To get more such videos in your timeline, press the subscribe button below.